Let's build a gaming PC for under 400 euros using these parts. Watch till the end to see the finished PC.
For the motherboard, I went with the MSI A520M Pro. I bought the motherboard from Amazon for 50 euros and 78 cents. For the CPU, I chose Ryzen 5 3600. I bought the CPU used from a local market and I paid only 40 euros for it. If you're building yourself a PC on a budget, I highly recommend this CPU because it's still an amazing processor for 1080p gaming and you can get it used for a really good price. When I'm building PCs, I like to use this Blackstorm's electric driver kit that has 48 different bits in it. I got this one as a gift from my sister, but you can get the same one for around 60 euros. As you can see, it also has this neat flashlight. Here I am removing the motherboard's backplate brackets, so I can mount the CPU cooler on the motherboard later on. Now I am removing the NVMe heatsink, so I can install the NVMe on the board. For the storage, I chose 1TB Gen 3 NVMe from Kingston. I bought it new from Amazon and I paid 54 euros for it. It has a read speed up to 3500 megabytes per second and write speed up to 2100 megabytes per second. There are some mixed reviews with Kingston's NVMe's, but at least for me these have been perfect. I went with Corsair Vengeance 2x8GB kit of RAM clocked in at 3200 MHz. You can get this RAM kit for under 40 euros quite often from Amazon, but I bought this from a local market and their prices were a bit more expensive, so I paid 50 euros for the kit. I used AMD's Raid Stealth stock cooler to cool the CPU. I usually use Arctic MX4 as my thermal paste, but sometimes I just use the thermal paste that comes with the coolers. I painted the cover white to match the aesthetics of the build. Here I am just installing the cooler to the board. It's important to put it as tight as possible to make sure it cools the CPU properly. I don't like loose wires to be seen from the front, so I just tuck the cooler's wire between the RAM and the cooler. And here's something I used for the first time while building a PC. I used a white fish tank case from Mars Gaming. It's called Mars Gaming MCSE White if you're interested in this one. I got it from Amazon and I paid 47 euros and 42 cents for it, so it's quite affordable in my opinion. This electric driver makes it easy to put these screws in and the flashlight is super helpful. The case didn't come with any fans, so I had to get some fans for it. I went with the Thermalright's 120mm ARGB fans. These fans are my go-to fans for almost any build, because they are super cheap and they look really nice. You can get 3 fans for only 15 euros from Amazon. These even have daisy chain wires, so you don't need any fan hubs in your builds. And of course, we have to use some extension cables to really tie the build's aesthetics together. I am using these black and white Formula Mod extension cables that I got from AliExpress for 13 euros and 8 cents. If you don't feel comfortable buying stuff from AliExpress, you can also get Formula Mod cables from Amazon for around 30 to 40 euros. One thing I disliked about this case is the limited space behind the motherboard. I do know that this was only a bit over 40 euros, so I can't really complain, but still, it would be nice to have more space to work with. Oh, and I hate putting the front panel connectors on the board. These are so tiny and the space is so limited. I would need some raccoon-like fingers to do this efficiently. And as you can see here, there was only one hole for the wires below the motherboard, so it was quite hard to get this extension cable through there. For the GPU, we are using a RTX 2060 from P&Y. It only has one cooling fan, but it's fine with a 2060 and it still looks great in this build. I got this used from a local market and I paid 91 euros and 60 cents for it, so it was a great price for the GPU. For a GPU this small, there is no need for a GPU bracket because it's very light and it won't cause that much strain for the PCIe slot. I decided to use this Corsair CX650 power supply unit to power the build. As you can see, at first I put the power supply unit in the case upside down, so I had to flip it. I bought this PSU used from a local market for only 20 euros. That is a great price for a 650 watt power supply unit. It is a 80 plus bronze unit and it is semi-modular. That means that it already has a cable for the motherboard and the CPU, but all the other cables you can put in yourself. It is especially great for these cases that don't have that much space for cable management, cause you can leave out all the ones you don't actually need. I did test the unit with a PSU tester after buying it and it was working like it was supposed to work. Here I am booting the PC for the first time. The fans light up, so that's good at least. But we get no signal. At that moment I realized I must have put in the broken CPU. I have quite many Ryzen 5 3600 CPUs and I had one broken one that I forgot to label as broken after testing. So after changing the CPU to another Ryzen 5 3600, we got the PC to post. And next comes the most tedious part. The cable management behind the motherboard. Sometimes it's nice to do this when there is some space to work with, but not in this case. I still got it to look decent and managed to close the case back up. Next you will see rest of the parts list with the prices and some clips of the PC.